Good evening, everybody. Your Excellency, Mrs. Ruchi, Ghanashyam, members of the House of Lords, members of the Parliament, Champa Patel, members of Indian Professionals Forum, and dear friends. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to the Chatham House and to the event on UK-India collaboration. Our special welcome is to the new High Commissioner, Her Excellency Mrs. Ruchi Ghanashyam, who kindly agreed to address us today, soon after her arrival last week, and we're grateful and honored that she has chosen this event as her first public speech. Madam, we are grateful to you for your presence, and we convey our best wishes for your successful stay in UK. As most of you know, she served as Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs in Delhi and was High Commissioner of India in South Africa, in Ghana, and has served in almost all regions of the world, including United Nations. Having also served in Brussels, she probably has a good idea of what is going to be outcome of the Brexit talks. High Commissioner, as you're aware, Indian Professionals Forum is a young organization, only a year old. It was launched last year on 22nd November by your predecessor, High Commissioner Sinha. Given the increased role of Indian diaspora in every walk of the British economy and society, it was felt important to set up an organization which will help in promoting the contribution of Indian diaspora. The Brexit debate also accelerated its creation, as there was need to further strengthen the India-UK partnership with diaspora as a link. Indian professionals diaspora constitutes a big middle of the Indian community in UK, working in every sector of the economy, including business, academics, financial services, banks, governments, law firms, defense, police, and every other profession. Apart from making considerable contribution to UK economy, the diaspora has maintained a strong link with India. UK and India are strong economic partners. British companies are large investors and employers in India, and Indian companies are large investors and employers in UK. We organized over 10 events during the last year. A number of these activities focused on the impact of Brexit for Indian diaspora and the partnership with India, particularly in relation to immigration, employment, education, and business, including financial services. We concluded that Brexit or no Brexit, UK and India will remain as strong partners, and UK will continue to be a location of first choice for Indian businesses and tourism. We're not sure about the students, as there are some mixed experiences. And London will remain as a strong global financial center for raising finances, including for Indian businesses and infrastructure like Masala Bonds. We hosted delegations from 3 states, Haryana, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu, and facilitated a number of MOUs between these states and the British companies. And we are also taking a delegation to Vibrant Gujarat. We also had the participation of Finance Minister of India and the senior Indian government officials in organizing an event at London Business School on opportunities in the distressed investment market in India, a multi-billion-dollar market. We will continue the work in this area. However, our focus has been on advanced technology companies, particularly startups in UK and India, and strengthening the UK-India technology corridor for UK companies to scale up in India and for Indian companies to innovate in UK. In this regard, we were very pleased to host the Indian Minister of Information Technology and Law, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad, who also launched the UK-India Innovation Fund, PONTAC, at that time, in July. We are focusing on strengthening the technology parks in UK to match the Silicon Valley in USA. As you are aware, 20% of the technology startups in Silicon Valley are set up by Indian diaspora. The number of such companies in UK is very small. We have prepared a working paper and have planned a series of activities to increase the technology startups in UK in collaboration with UK and Indian technology companies. We will also focus on key issues of importance to Indian diaspora and both to UK and Indian governments. One of these issues is the health service, and there is considerable scope in this area. We are pleased that our first roundtable of experts on health services is being held today after your keynote address, and we will be introducing them shortly afterwards. Finally, I must say that all this was possible only because of the huge support from everyone. IPF Small Working Party, IPF members who are all here and who are also contributing financially, our strategic partners and donors, particularly ICICI Bank, and our partner Chatham House. We're grateful to Champa Patel and her colleagues who have been very, very kind to let the activities of Indian Professional Forum go. But my most and last grateful thanks are for the support we have received from the High Commission of India, your predecessor, your Deputy High Commissioner, Minister Manish Singh, and his colleagues, and we look forward to working with you as much in the future. Thank you for your attention. May I, Your Excellency, invite you to deliver the keynote address on UK-India collaboration, opportunities and challenges.
Thank you so much. Is there some way to remove this? Because if I stand here, I don't think anybody can see me. Often in the aircrafts, when I'm struggling to put my hand luggage in the, above the seat, people tell me that I'm vertically challenged. So in this position now, I'm particularly finding myself challenged. But I can see most of you, so I presume that you can see me too. Mr. Mohan Kaul, members of the Indian Professional Forum, Lord Lumba, Lord Dulakia, councillors, and so many distinguished people who are present here today. I am really delighted to be here today at this very well-known, internationally recognized place. I just learned today that it's actually called the Royal Institute of International Affairs because we all know it more by its popular name, the Chatham House. It is not the time for me to be coming and speaking to people and giving keynote addresses because this is really my second week in office. And it's really the time to learn and to listen to people and to familiarize myself with the requirements of my new responsibility. But I was told by my office, by everyone in the office that I asked, without exception, I was told that the membership of this Indian Professionals Forum is really outstanding. So it is in honor of all of you that I have really ventured out and taken the risk of coming and speaking on a subject that I am familiar with only very briefly. And notwithstanding what you said, Dr. Kaul, and notwithstanding my previous experience of of Europe. From my job in Delhi, I can assure you that I don't have any idea how Brexit is going to work out. And I'm sure that all of you sitting here probably can do a lot more to enlighten me rather than the other way around. So I am actually beginning to wonder why you should actually be even sitting here to listen to me. And you must be wondering about that as well. Well, I have a few brief remarks, which I have tried to focus as much as I can on India, which is at least a subject that I am more familiar with. And I hope that the panel discussion that follows thereafter will give you much more food for thought that obviously all of you, being of the caliber that you are, will be looking for. So let me, before I say anything, thank you, Dr. Kaul, and thank all of you for coming here today and for giving me this opportunity. I don't think I say anything new if I say that India has emerged as the fastest growing major economy in the world and is expected to be among the top 3 economic powers of the world in the foreseeable future. Backed by our strong democratic traditions, we are very proud that our development, the economic development, has taken place in an atmosphere of democracy, freedom, and human rights. Our GDP, India's GDP, is estimated to have increased 6.6% in 2017-2018 and is expected to grow 7.3% in 2018 and 19. The last April to July quarter of 2018-19, the GDP grew by 8.2%. India's $2.6 trillion economy surpassed France's economy in 2017 to be the world's 6th largest, and we are racing with the UK, trying to overtake, as per World Bank data. India's foreign exchange reserves were $400.49 billion in the week up to September 14, 2018. This is as per the data from Reserve Bank of India. The performance on the ease of doing business, World Bank's ease of doing business index, has been really notable and has been noticed, because India, well, in the last year we climbed, the last ranking we have climbed 23 places, and we have reached 77 among the 190 countries surveyed. But the year before that, if I'm not mistaken, it was 30 ranks, and before the year before that as well, we had climbed, I think, 10 positions. So with that, India is the only country to rank among the top 10 improvers for the 2nd consecutive year. And that is something, again, is a result of the focus on trying to make India a more friendly, more welcoming place for businesses and investors wanting to come and do business in India. As PM May talks of a global Britain, you will find in India an increasingly global India, a global India that is youthful and dynamic, but also true to its great history and culture, a global India where commerce and culture, modernity and history sit comfortably side by side. India-UK relations have never been closer. Following the visit of the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, to UK in April 2018, I had the privilege of being part of that delegation, but unfortunately I covered only the Commonwealth and not the bilateral part. The bilateral strategic partnership and growing convergence on a number of geopolitical and strategic issues have been further strengthened in the last couple of years. During the Prime Minister's visit, both countries signed 10 MOUs and agreements spanning initiatives across technology, cybersecurity, and Ayurveda, tackling serious and organized crime, trade and investment, skills and vocational education, dairying and animal husbandry, Ganga rejuvenation, and safe usage of nuclear energy. These commitments reinforce the natural ambition of both countries to further bilateral cooperation. And this was not a one-off occasion where the Prime Minister of India visited the UK, because the previous year Prime Minister May had visited India, and earlier, if I'm not mistaken, PM Cameron visited India thrice. So it has been a steady process of visiting each other and trying to work on bilateral relationship to take it forward. The UK is also home to 1.5 million people of Indian origin. They have done very well in all walks of life. I think, as I addressed, we have 2 lords sitting here and several councillors, and I think all of you sitting here who are of Indian origin are testimony to the fact that the Indian diaspora is doing very well in the UK. I think the achievements of the diaspora and the manner of integration in the UK society are a source of pride for Britain and as also for India. In India, we are extremely proud of our diaspora and its achievements abroad. We often talk about, people often talk about, and also in India people talk about India's demographic dividend. But perhaps we have to start thinking of the diaspora dividend, because the diaspora makes enormous contributions in building relationships and in strengthening ties with countries in which they are located. They are living bridges, as they have often been called, and therefore are a great source of strength to bilateral relationship. Our economic relationship has been strong. There's great potential for growth in both goods and services. Our bilateral merchandise trade has been in the range of $14.5 billion US. It has, of course, a large potential to grow, and I think that is something that we would like to be focusing on. The trade in services has been $12 billion US, and again, I think we have to try and see how these figures can be improved even further. UK is among India's major trading partners, and during the year 2017-18, UK ranked 17th in the list of India's top 25 trading partners. When it comes to investment, both of us obviously show a great interest in the other. UK is the 4th largest inward investor in India after Mauritius, Singapore, and Japan, with a cumulative equity investment of US dollars 26 billion between April 2000 to June 2018. It accounts for around 7% of all foreign direct investment into India. So it's a very important investment partner for India. India continued to be the 4th largest investor in the UK and emerged as the 2nd largest international job creator, with Indian companies having created over 105,000 jobs in the UK. The High Commission of India runs a program called the Access India Program to facilitate UK SMEs to establish their manufacturing bases in India. Such steps will only boost our commercial and economic ties further. I think Dr. Kaul mentioned the Masala Bonds. So currently there are 24 rupee denominated Masala Bonds listed on the London Stock Exchange, which have raised $5 billion US dollars. There are also $8 denominated Indian bonds that are listed on the London Stock Exchange. Some of the institutions listed on the London Stock Exchange are National Thermal Power Corporation, the NTPC, the National Highways Authority of India, NHAI, India Railway Finance Corporation, IRFC, Indian Power Finance Corporation, Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, and a host of others. During the 9th Economic and Financial Dialogue that took place in April 2017 in India, an early market engagement for the India-UK fund, joint India-UK fund, namely a green growth equity fund, which aims to leverage private sector investment from the City of London to invest in green infrastructure projects in India, was launched. Additionally, National Infrastructure Investment Fund was set up, wherein both governments will invest up to £120 million each, totally £240 million in the joint fund, and it aims to raise around £500 million and more. Our relationship is both special and really deep. One of the greatest strengths of the UK-India relationship is our familiarity with one another. The first time I came to London was when I was posted on the continent of Europe, where of course English was not the spoken language. And I often bought hair cream when I was trying to buy hair shampoo, and felt very illiterate, because I found that when it was, especially if it was, well, French at least I could figure out, but some other language, it became even harder. And the first time I came to London, everything seemed so familiar. And I stopped to ask myself, why is everything sounding so familiar? I have never come here before. And the answer immediately came to my mind, to the brain, that everybody is speaking in English. That is the first thing, because you can communicate with someone, and that really makes life so much easier. So we are familiar with each other. We know each other for a very long time. But the risk of familiarity, obviously, that you become complacent. So it is important that while we know each other well, while we want our relationship to be built stronger and stronger, we remain conscious of the need not to be complacent and to always set the bar high for ourselves. So that is the important part for us. Rightly now, we are focusing on healthcare, which I think you're going to discuss today, and identifying partnering in futuristic technologies. So these are some of the areas that we are now focused on, and we feel that in a technology-savvy world, cooperation in these areas would be very useful between our two countries. So, following Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to India, to UK, the India-UK Technology Partnership was launched by the then Department for Digital Culture, Media and Sports Secretary of State, Mr. Matt Hancock, in Delhi in May 2018, that will help us to benefit in the wake of the next technology revolution. UK expertise in tech and fintech and strengths in innovation and India's skilled manpower and startup culture will help to ensure the creation of high-value jobs, higher productivity, and will help us to tackle shared challenges. The development of a UK-India technical hub in the British High Commission in Delhi is aimed to bring together a team of experts in the British High Commission in Delhi and to work to increase tech investment and exports. UK and India's tech trade associations, Tech UK and NASSCOM, have also announced that they will work together through a new UK-India Tech Alliance, bringing senior tech leaders together to collaborate, help develop policy, and encourage innovation. So these are some of the areas for our work together in the future. We also witnessed UK joining the International Solar Alliance during the visit of Indian Prime Minister to the UK. This is a multi-country global initiative to tackle climate change, and it is led by India and France, and British expertise to support the delivery of ISA's objectives, and proposed collaboration between UK and the ISA on solar financing will go a long way to meet the developing country objectives in reducing their dependence on fossil fuels. Now, as Dr. Kaul said, I had the opportunity to handle India's relations with the EU in my previous role as Secretary West in the Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi. And as I said earlier, you are probably wiser than I am on some of the questions. But I find it really interesting that I now have the opportunity to observe that process from the other side. And it's perhaps the most interesting period in imaginable in the recent years. And that presents challenges, yes, but also opportunities. And for us, I think the important part is how to identify both the challenges and the opportunities. The importance of identifying the challenges is obvious, because if you identify the challenges, only then can you work to improve the system that may be available for you to deal with those challenges. But identifying the opportunities is also very important, because if we don't identify them in time, we may find that we really missed the bus, and that is not the intention on either side. So one of the reasons why I came here today is to look forward to interacting with you over the months and over the weeks as I settle down in the UK, and to hear from you about this process, about what you think that we can do together, what India and UK can do together. Where do you see the problems? Where do you see the challenges? How do you think they can be overcome? And what are the opportunities that India should not miss? I'm not saying that on each one of those we will take action like that, and there would be a revolutionary progress taking place. But if we know it, at least we can start to think about it and start to feed it into the system and see how we can overcome and make the best use of the opportunities. One thing I could say without any hesitation, India-UK partnership is very old. It has stood the test of time. And whatever happens to this process, in whichever way it turns out, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that India and UK will remain important partners. And we will continue to work together to improve this partnership and take our relationship from strength to strength. Of that, I have absolutely no doubt. There are challenges that people have identified. I think business organizations, UK IBC and others, some say that Indians like to see the opportunities, some point out the challenges. So I don't know if this is really the place for me to go into all those details. You are professionals, you probably know those details more than I do, and perhaps before I do. So I will just conclude by saying that the visit of our Prime Minister to UK happened at a good time. It was in response to the visit of the Prime Minister of UK to India. Both leaders have set ambitious targets for us to give a new trajectory, to give a faster pace to the development of our relationship. And I feel really honored and privileged to be in the UK at this particular point of time in history, because this is the time when so many things will happen. And this is the time when a High Commissioner and a High Commission have the opportunity to contribute to the relationship in helping to take the relationship forward. With that, let me thank all of you for listening so patiently, despite the fact that I had already confessed to you that I know very little about the topic of discussion. I also thank you for inviting me, and on behalf of myself and the High Commission of India, I promise you that we will work with you. The reason that I'm standing here today is by itself an indication of how much we want to work with you and to help this organization. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, High Commissioner, thank you very much for your talk, and thank you very much for all the good words that you mentioned. We won't disappoint you. We will be there knocking your doors, and we'll be here to ask us anytime if there's anything. There are a lot of professionals for every discipline, as you said, from technology to music. So we are here to work with you in partnership and to help anything we can do in strengthening the UK-India partnership. And thank you once again to come here with us. And I hope you can stay for some more time, listen to the discussion, and the number of them would like to meet you while you're here. So may I request you to come down, and Champa, would you come up and introduce your panel and manage your panel, please? Thank you.